All right, welcome guys, welcome to Think Tank TV, welcome to our channel. Before I commence today's Monday motivation, I first of all would like to say a big thank you to all those who are subscribers. We can't thank you enough. You've done so well to continually watch, share, like our videos. Interestingly, most of you we don't know in particular, but we'd like to say a big thank you for supporting us. My name is Moses Waribo, and recall this is Think Tank TV. Today I'm going to be talking a little about how Think Tank TV commenced, because I'm one of the directors of Think Tank TV. So you want to know a lot about how we started, where we are now, and what you need to know. For those of you who perhaps are working somewhere, you're being bullied at work, you don't feel satisfied, because I know statistics has it that a large percentage of people are not satisfied where they're working. I was in that shoe. Interestingly, I'm going to be sharing the story to you. A lot of people are where they are working, they are not satisfied with what's going on there. They don't feel okay. But just because they have to pay the bills, they have to stand by around. If you find yourself in this category, sit back, because we'll be sharing a lot of things that will let you know what you need to know. If you're being bullied at work, if you don't feel satisfied, if you feel discouraged on a Monday morning to go to work, then I think you need to sit back and listen to what we've got to share. Before I comment, if you're new to our station, do well to subscribe to our station. Give us the support, because we've got beautiful content that will be very entertaining, educative, and insightful for you. Thank you so much. All right, welcome back. Today I want to share a story about how we started Think Tank TV. It was many years ago when I picked up a job. I finished school. I had worked 1 or 2 contract jobs with 1, 2, 3 companies, and the contract ran out, so I had to pick up a job. Like you would all know, most of us when we go to school, the ideology they've always made us believe is go to school. When you come out of school, pick up a job so you can pay your bills. As beautiful as that is, I'll be sharing some things with you. So I did well to pick up a job. I applied for a job as a contract manager somewhere. I did an interview online. The interview was quite tedious because I actually studied for it, because I was very interested in the job. I did an online interview, and interestingly, after some days, they sent me a text message saying, "Congratulations." I was so glad about it. I actually gave a testimony in church, and I found myself resuming as a contract manager. It looked so beautiful. I resumed work, unknowing to me that I was going into what I call a painful experience. And that's why I said a lot of us are in this category as well. You need to sit back and listen to what I went through. You need to sit back and listen to what I did to come out of that mess, because it may help you a great deal. I resumed as a contract manager. To be very frank with you, I put in my best. Even as I sit right here, I can say to you that I put in my best in that job. But unfortunate for me, the person I was working for is this category of people who never appreciates. Now, you may say maybe I wasn't doing all I could, but the bone of contention, or the most interesting point you need to know here, is that the not appreciating me was not just to me, it was virtually to every person around her. She was this bossy lady. She was this person who is very aggressive to people working for her. So I like to use the opportunity to say, all those, if you find yourself as a boss or in an opportunity where you stand to be heading people, don't be abusive to them, because you never can tell where you will meet them again. It was hell on earth, because I was being abused. She was so aggressive to me. She was so harsh to me. As a matter of fact, I lost my sense of reasoning. What actually happened? At every instance, the lady wants to bully you. She wants to abuse you. She used abusive words of me, derogatory words on me. And I began to feel less of myself. But nevertheless, because I wanted the money, I had to pay my bills. I had to continually endure, putting in my best, not just me. In fact, interestingly, the person that was in that position before me had to resign just about 3 months after working. One thing led to another, and she had to get that same person that stopped working for her. Wow. Because I was already becoming so tired. Somehow they had to reconcile, and he came back again. They started working, and the whole thing was so messy that I had to put in a resignation. No matter how painful it was to me, I told her, hey, I can't continue with this. I'm finding myself to become less of myself. I know there are lots of people who perhaps are in this situation right now. Here's what you need to do. Understand that your sanity is priceless. Understand that sometimes when a door closes, When a way closes, another one will open. Understand that sometimes until that way that you think is the best and only way closes, another will not open. So I had to leave the job and take the little monies we had together, come with one or two of my friends who are also interested in the kind of vision I was looking at. Interestingly, the vision was in my mind all the while, but I just had to insist to do the job because I wanted the raw cash. We started from nowhere, and today, to the glory of God, with your support, for all those of you who have subscribed, who have liked, who have been watching our videos, with your support today, Think Tank TV can earn money to cover events. Think Tank TV can be called for interviews that we are going to be paid for. Wow, how interesting that is. So what does that tell you? It tells you a great deal that no matter where you are, you can also start up something that can make you earn cash. You know, most of us have got this orientation just like I had to, that when you go to school, you've learnt it all. No, the truth is, the school we went to is just a foundation. They only taught us how to follow up and how to do research to know about everything we want to know. Now, if you left school 8 years ago and you are still with the same knowledge you left school with, then listen, you need to at this point begin to upscale your knowledge. Because I've said it severally on this platform that personal development cannot be overemphasized. Interestingly, I did some jobs, one or two jobs that were illegal, but I began to watch. I said, truth is, doing an illegal job is actually tedious as well, as much as doing a legal job. So why do I need to spend so much time doing an illegal job that I can be caught and sent to prison? Why do I have to do that? I said to myself, hey, as far as the same stress, the same energy I put into a legal job is what I'm going to put into an illegal job, I should take the time to begin to build a legal job, a job that is respectful, a job that would give you dignity. And one of the things that went through my mind as well to have the guts to come start Think Tank TV with some friends of mine is the freedom you have. You have the freedom to work. You can determine the pace of your growth. Now, when you're working for someone, which there's nothing wrong about, you do not have the freedom of determining the pace of your growth. No matter how much you work, no matter how much time you put in, you cannot determine the pace of your growth. And that would ultimately lead to your income. So here's what you need to know about. The truth of the matter is that what you learned from school is not enough. It's just a basis of what you need to know. If it were enough, those who studied, those who are nutritionists should have been the healthiest people. If it was enough, those who are medical doctors should have been the people who have the best of health. But that's not true. That's not what it is. So you need to brace up to understand that going to school is the first stage. You need to do well, to study more, to increase your knowledge in the field you have chosen for yourself. Here is what you need to know when you want to start up a business. 3 things make up who you are today. Wherever you are today, whatever position you're occupying, whatever your face looks like, whatever your life has turned out to be, is centered around these 3 things I want to share with you, especially as a CEO, as a person who perhaps wants to do your own business, as a person who wants to go into entrepreneurship. Here are 3 things you must know. The first of them is what I call principles. Principles. Now, what is principle? Principle can simply be defined as a moral rule, belief, or assumption that controls, influence personal or general conduct. Your values in life is basically centered around the principles you have decided to imbibe, the principles you have decided to see as valuable to your life. So, first of all, as a person who wants to go into business, you have to pick up principles, personal principles that is going to be the guiding principle for your life. Else, if you choose to become an entrepreneur without principles, you're going to be in a free world. And like someone will say, freedom is expensive. The second thing you need to know is relationships. Every man, every woman who is wherever they are today got to that place by virtue of the relationships they have kept. The relationships they have kept. It is said, and I've heard it severally from my mentor, where he said, you are a reflection of the 5 people you spend the most of your time with. Now, because the relationships you keep is going to be determining the values you have, there's going to definitely be a rub-off. A lot of people say, people don't get to influence me. Come, directly or indirectly, people around you get to influence you. So you want to make sure that you keep the right relationships around yourself. The third point you need to know is the actions you take. The actions you take. He said 20 friends cannot be on the same level for 20 years. The actions you take. A lot of us, 5 years after school, are still scouting for a job. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with picking up a job, but the truth of the matter is that you can as well do something for yourself. You can as well start up something for yourself. All you need to do is open your mind. The people that today you want to go work for are people like you, human beings like you, who started a business, believed it, and today it is becoming a firm or an establishment that you believe in enough to go put in your time to work for them. So here's what you need to do. Do well to ensure that you also begin a job. Start up a business. If you have not gotten a job, don't kill yourself. Think of ways by which you can start up a business for yourself. Like I told you, when I left my job, I never understood, I never believed that we will get to a state where think tank team will now begin to earn money. Like people can put us on the phone and say, hey, come cover my event. Hey, come interview me. This whole thing started from the mentality we had. This whole thing started from the mindset. So if you think that your life is simply around working for someone, that's great. But when you've not gotten a job, use your time to do something more reasonable for yourself. A lot of people do not believe that. They prefer to keep doing the blame game. Why? You keep blaming the government, you keep blaming policies, you keep blaming tax. And I said to someone, when I finished reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, I said to someone, I said, hey, the truth of the matter is that even if today the government of the day is changed, it may not affect your income directly. Even if today a bag of rice is reduced by 100% or by 80%, it may not necessarily affect your income. It may never make you a rich man. So why throwing blames? A lot of people have a briefcase and a catalog of excuses why they shouldn't do well, why they will not do well. Come on, drop the excuses. It's your life. Start up something today and ensure that you do it with all your mind. I can assure you that your future can and will be great. So here are 3 points every entrepreneur must know about. Number 1, don't be a snowflake. Who is a snowflake? A snowflake is a person who melts under pressure. Now, when you read through the Autobiography of Great Men, you find out that no great man has ever climbed to the climax of his job or his career without facing challenges. So do not think that you starting up a business will make you to not go through challenges. You definitely go through challenges, but what you need to do is, it's called definiteness of purpose. You make up your mind to say, I'm going to be in this business and I'm going to do it until I have a headway, until I become successful. The second point you need to know is you must have the guts. An interviewer asked Donald Trump in an interview session, how can a person who has a decent job and feels he needs to go into entrepreneurship, how can he know if he will do well in entrepreneurship? How can he know whether to leave his job and go into entrepreneurship? Here was what the answer of Donald Trump was, and I'll say the same thing to you. It's about your guts. It's about your spirit. It's about your mind. Listen to yourself. Listen to your inner man. You will know. Nobody needs to tell you if truly you're going to succeed in business, because your heart and your mind will be so full. You would have an innate desire to do that business. You would have an innate gut. You have an innate feeling. You have an innate belief in that business. When the guts is strong enough, when the belief is strong enough, when you have a clear picture of that business, even when you sleep, it seems as though you can't do any of that. You keep saying it. It keeps resurfacing. Hey, go all out for that business. That's the right business. That's the time to move. The third point you need to know is your mentality. A lot of people have the wrong mentality. And with the wrong mentality, you can never succeed in business. If you do not believe that you are what being an entrepreneur, if you do not believe that you are what being a CEO, if you do not believe in yourself, it's not going to happen for you. That's the bad news you need to know. So you must first of all change your mentality. Begin to think as a CEO. Begin to act as a CEO. Begin to desire to be a CEO. Begin to see yourself as a CEO. The mentality changes everything. And that's why the wisdom quote says, you are what you think about. I trust you've learned something today. For those of you who are wishing to start up a business, I trust you learned something today. My name again is Moses Waiba. I'm a public speaker. We cover your events. We do interview. We cover the red carpet of your event. We do interview sections. And we do a lot around video coverage. We're a TV station. you have an issue to put out there, do us an email. We'll reach you from wherever you are. Online, we're going to talk to you. We're going to put out your content for the world to see. And I trust you've learned something today. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for liking our station. Thank you so much for commenting. Thank you for being our biggest fan and believing in us. We love you so much. Bye for now.